Abby decided that she would join me for some night walks because she also wanted to try to find a turtle. And although we walked the beach many times, we were not very fortunate this night. And it was sad and disappointing, but I guess that's a part of wildlife. And then in the morning, I noticed that there were false crawls. So we definitely missed a turtle. There was actually a nest, maybe more than one nest, so we had a lot of action and we didn't see anything. Mel came down to investigate.
And then they all died off. So we found the species that wouldn't be affected by the lethal yellowing, and that's what we've been planting. So, you know, it's a case of just keeping it natural with the native stuff, but at the same time you've got to be aware of the diseases and stuff.
Mel's story's pretty cool, actually. He bought a property on this beach, and one day he looked out and noticed some tracks on the beach. And he ended up finding turtles. The story goes more in detail than that, but I'll let him tell you that. But back to these turtles. So once you find a nest, you need to start to do some measurements and figure out if there was a nest. So here you can definitely see that there's a nest that was laid by the way that the sand was turned, and you can see the entry and exit path. So once you have all of that, you now need to start taking pictures and logging the information and the data so that you can track it. If someone had seen it, you'd be able to know which turtle it was. But you can kind of tell that by the size of the fins and the dates that it was laid, because they come back so often. And here Omar is actually teaching me the process and how to take pictures, and then also how to actually find the nest itself. And it's a lot more work goes into it than I actually realized. And I don't fully know how you can tell the difference from front flippers and back flippers fully at this point, but when Omar does it, it's just so simple. And now he's told me to go and find the nest, and man, he makes this look so easy, you know. I'm here just so confused. And yeah, well, it goes in here, and then no, like it should be over here, and we're talking, and he's explaining, and he's like, no, like you should look right. Oh, yep, you're right. It's exactly where you told me it would be. Man, it's insane that he's that good at it. Well, I then start digging, and yeah, he's right. And so this isn't a great spot for the eggs. So what you need to do is you need to carefully start digging them out and placing them in the bucket. If you get to them in the first day, you can move them with not so much care on the direction of how the egg is sitting. After it's set for a little bit, that's when it matters, and then you have to be careful, or else the turtle could drown, and nobody wants that, a baby turtle drowning in a shell. So we quickly get to them and we move them, and oh man, this is like my first time actually like doing the whole process, and it's kind of cool. This is actually a pretty cool job. If you ever get the opportunity to volunteer or help out, I definitely think that this is something that some people would really enjoy. The knowledge and experience I got chatting with Mel, that man knows so much about everything, and he's just created this awesome opportunity to share his knowledge of turtles and trying to help them have an opportunity to survive. And I'm actually pretty lucky or blessed to get this opportunity. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I came here, but being put to work or volunteering, and it's actually a lot of fun. And I'm learning a lot, and yep, Omar goes off because I guess I'm taking too long, or maybe he doesn't have to supervise me with the eggs because it's not that tough of a job to pull the eggs out. But while you're doing it, you also have to make sure that you're grabbing the ones from the side that might be embedded or stuck in there a little bit. So I'm trying to be super careful and check everywhere, and there's so many eggs in here. Like, I would have thought that maybe there might be 100, but like some of these turtles lay 250 eggs. And then they come back 13, 15 days later and lay another nest. Like, that's a lot of eggs, man. And I guess it's survival of the fittest, and they just hope that one of those eggs comes back. That's crazy. 1 in 1,000 turtles or sea turtles come back? Man. This nest had 163 eggs. Yep. I pulled them all out, and then I counted them. You pick a new hole, and you actually count them as you're putting them into the hole, or at least that's what I did, because I found it to be a little bit easier. And after you've put them all in the hole, and honestly it takes a little bit of time because there's 163 eggs that I got to put into this hole. But after you've put them into the hole, you then cover the hole up, and you've got to make measurements so that you're actually able to find it later on in 60 to 100 days, depending on time of year or season. And you take a couple pictures, and you start jotting down all this information. And because Omar actually normally does it alone, he's got this awesome system where he actually attaches the stick into the nest, and he just goes around, and he's able to do it actually fairly quickly. At points I actually feel as if I'm in his way, and he might be quicker off or better off doing it without me. But I think he sometimes enjoys my help. And then we move this nest, and now we go to, that other nest. And this nest is in a much tougher spot, so he brings in the shovel that he actually ended up breaking. And through these rocks and whatnot, he was able to find the nest. And, you guessed it, we moved these ones too. There were a lot of eggs that we had to move today. It's crazy. This nest had 215 eggs. That's a lot of eggs. And we put them back into a nest in a better location, and they're going to wait and see what happens. This is what happens if you don't move a bad nest. These kind of eggs happen.
Mm-hmm. You expect them all to be the same size? You expect them all to be the same size?
No, once they start to lose shape, they're gonna get smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they probably start the same size, thereabouts.
Yeah.
So that one means it's gonna crack soon, or?
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. Yeah. Look how the shell head stay. So this one now, lots of the liquid lose out. This one having a lots of liquid.
So why is this one so dark?
Dark parts. You'll find some of them dark because it all depends on how they rest on each other down there.
This is the fluid that he was talking about that's oozing out of the egg. You can see that this turtle's actually trying to break out. And this nest is really close because this turtle's actually like part of the way out. Oh, yep, he's part of the way out of his shell. This nest definitely has a little bit of time until it's ready, but you can see his buddies moving.
Look at it and tell us.
He wasn't ready because he's at the top of the nest, so it's not as warm. So he's a little bit behind. And we digged a little bit deeper and...
Oh, they look ready. That guy looks...
Ready to go.
He is primed to go.
This one still has the umbilical cord, so he's definitely not ready to go. That's one of the things that you check for when you're washing the turtles. As these ones are a couple days out, it's going to get meshed over and the hole gets covered and then the mesh goes. And again, this mesh is actually to keep the dogs and the mongooses out. Yeah. You remember them from the other videos when they were running around? Well, once that's done, we head back and get ready for the show later tonight. And check on those turtles. Those turtles tend to be kept closer to a spot so that people don't have to walk too far. And these ones look like they're ready to go.
Okay. Can I welcome you to Gibraltar Beach? That's the beach that we're on. We now have more turtles lay on this beach than anywhere else in Jamaica. Okay? If you look just over there and you look from the front of the sea going off, that is a turtle that laid up on that bank last night. When you walked along, you noticed there was like a big hole in the side of the bank. That was another turtle, and then we had another one at the other end up there. So this year, at the moment, we're 216 nests, okay? Wow. We've still got 2 months of the year to go, and our best ever year was 193. So we've exceeded that. We expect to be somewhere around the 230 plus mark. Okay?
They're all crawling over each other.
If you want to put bets on it, it's fine.
It's like an army crawl.
Right, and so this is getting them the energy that they need to be able to swim. Right, this is the exercise to strengthen their muscles.
Oh.
You're all on a bucket?
Yes, sir.
Well, that turtle's in a weird position. Yeah. Speed Gonzalez. Same boat.
That was amazing. Do they just instinctually know to go towards the water?
Yep, and so right now what they're doing is they're setting a mechanism in their head so that they can come back here to lay.
What about him?
So 81.
Yeah, so we'll let him try. We'll put him in the incubator if he doesn't do so well.
15 of those to come back in the future to lay on the beach, right? If that's the case, and then they start laying 3 nests, and as they get older, 4, 5 and 6, that's why we've got to thin the population out, right? Now what happens is, we fill in the back of the forms, when we get upstairs we work out all the detail of what's happening in the nest. So the one nest had got affected badly by rain, and basically about 90 eggs were ruined. Now, we built the hatchery over there, we're going to put a roof on it, and in the future we'll be moving them into there where they're protected from the bad weather, okay? But the information we put on here goes to the government share it with the Caribbean people in Barbados, then it gets shared with the World Wildlife Fund and all that sort of stuff. So we're in the situation that we have hawksbills which are critically endangered, so people are very interested in what we're doing. When I did the numbers this morning, we've let 14,242 out so far, but we've still got 75 nests to let go, and we've had 3 new nests last night, and we'll continue having more nests until the end of the year. So we're expecting to release somewhere in the region of 22,000 to 24,000 this year. Okay? Once we actually start to do this, we're now actually looking to support other beaches with the move nests, because the turtles, when they hatch there, will go back there to breed, so we can strengthen other beaches and their population. We've got the project going with Boston to get more males, okay, and once that starts to take root, then we'll be moving nests which we know have incubated into the male to the other beaches, so they're getting more males. And at the back of the beach, where we've got the piles of stone, and up there you'll see the coconut trees, we're growing the coconut trees to a certain height, and then we're piling the sand up. The coconut roots will bind it, and it will prevent it being washed away in the future, so there are nesting spaces for turtles in the future. So it's not just what we do here.
So I was taking pictures of a bunch of things and making a video. If you want to see, I do have some pictures to actually share with people. I'm a wildlife photographer from Canada. And here's a little gift for you for being a turtle midwife.